Hello and welcome to another meet and greet with the filmmakers from a competition movie, a film competing for the Crystal Globe this year at KVIFF. The Visitor, a film about a man's return to a place where he grew up. And I'm happy to have two actors and the director here. So Vismantė Ruzgaitė, welcome. Also Darius Šilėnas, welcome. And the director, cinematographer, and co-writer Vytautas Katkus. Hi. And I would like to start by asking you about the starting point of the movie. Whether there was a personal motivation behind the will to tell a story about a man going back to a place of his childhood after his father dies?
I think there have been some, small, stories, small personal stories, small events or, small ideas which I want to show or somehow to connect into one. It wasn't like, oh, I want to make a movie about how character is going back to his place and blah blah. It was more about atmosphere and situation, about loneliness or solitude in a way. And the first idea was to make a movie about solitude in a very positive way. That you have to have sometimes solitude. You have to have you have to be lonely sometimes, but the most important thing for me was how to be lonely, how to be lonely and happy, and what's happened in that kind of situation. So we wrote with Maria some different chapters, different stories about it, and some of them are here in a movie, some of not, and so this was the thing, and also was father and son, it was, you can say that it was father and son relationship connection, but also it was interesting for me to show how environment and your locations are changing you or change you, and how you are changing the environment, and to show that environment without you still exists, and there are things happening where it's not that you are, controlling the environment. Environment and locations are controlling you, and you have to, in a way.
And we will definitely talk about the locations and their importance later on. At this point, I'm still curious because the movie is filled with many very subtle, sometimes funny details. My favorite moment is the scene with the guy winning the balloon at the fair and then trying to fit in the balloon into this little bag. And I'm curious to what extent were all these details scripted. Whether you wander around life and gather these little observations and write them down, or the opposite, whether these things just pop up during the filmmaking process.
I think it was both. Some scenes were written, but most of the scenes were written, not most of it, but some of the scenes were written because of, Maria heard her friends, I heard my friends are talking like this, doing like this or something. Some scenes was, totally created by Maria. For example, that lottery scene, it was in the script it looked very, so strange, and it was one of the scenes from very beginning which I thought that maybe we are not gonna film this scene because it's a bit not movie, style in a way. But we rehearse, not rehearse, we are looking for locations, everything. We're writing cover scenes, and somehow that scene, stayed in the movie, not in the movie, in the script. And Maria was very fighting to keep that scene. She was she's very funny. She said that this scene is going to be very funny. It has to be, and so she's happy that that scene is in the movie. So and some scenes, of course, are improvisational scenes or spotted, I don't know, being in that location during summertime, and yeah.
Question to the actors. Was your experience making this particular film different from, let's say, your other projects? Because I'm still trying to get to the bottom of how much background you actually have about the characters when you get on set, when you start filming, and how much is being figured out on spot based on the mood, the spirit of the location, and so on. So how was it?
So we really don't have much experience from before because we're not actors. I'm actually a editor, and she's a cinematographer, photographer.
And DIT on the set. And DIT on the set.
So we are just like friends of Vytautas, not really actors, but it was very interesting working with Vytas. For me, it was first time. Vismantė's, I don't know, second or third, maybe third time.
Third time, yeah.
So it was easy because we're friends. So I completely trust him that he knows what he's doing, and I don't ask too many questions because I'm not an actor that I would need this many background stories to build myself a character. So I'm just listening what he's saying, and I'm trying to just, I don't know, be in the moment and just, yeah, exist in the shot.
Speaking of background stories, the protagonist comes from Norway to settle things after his father dies, and there's very little background given about his family in Norway, and we don't get to spend much time at that setting. And I was wondering whether you actually made a background story for him, at least in your head, you were your co-writer, whether there is more about his Norwegian part, even though it doesn't show in the movie.
From very beginning, it was clear that we are not gonna talk about his life right now. About his family right now? It wasn't like important. It was important just to show that the new family exists, the new place where he lives exists, and that's it. It's more about why main character has to come to the place where it not belongs to him or anymore, and it was the most important thing, and we knew that we need to concentrate on that, and yeah, not on what's happening right now, because yeah, it could be two different. In a way, it's like two different characters. Like the main character who is living in Norway and who came back to Lithuania, it's like two different characters. So we wanted to show one character.
Let's get into the locations. We learn a lot about Darius, not from what he says, but rather from the places he inhabits, the places he walks through, or just silently wanders around. Tell us more about the setting, the locations that you and Maria chose for this character, and then about the location scouting, whether you were personally familiar with some of these spots or whether you were just looking for places with a certain mood until you found them.
Yeah, also, from very beginning, before writing a script, we already knew that it has to be in a small summer resort town during the end of season and beginning of season to see the changes of the resort town, to see a bit of ghost town becoming a ghost town or something. It's very, for me, it's very resonates with the main character feelings, and so it was important to find this kind of summer resort town. Maria, both of us are from Vilnius, but Maria used to live and she's still spending many times, a lot of time in another like resort town. So when we were writing a script, she wrote some scenes particularly about that summer resort town where she used to live, but somehow, and we did a location scouting. Location manager Vytautas summer before shootings, like travel through all the summer resort towns in Lithuania with a bike, and yeah, so he had very summerish style work holidays in a way. So yeah, so we found that Šventoji, the town where we filmed, it's like only one town where you can really feel the difference between, like, you can really feel that the next day, like in the 1st of September, the summer season is over. Like, a lot of supermarkets are closed, a lot of shops are closed, cafes, bars are closed, but still there are some life. Like, still some people live, but like in other cities, for example, in the one where Maria was writing about, Druskininkai. So during not summer season, like, a lot of people lives and there are no like changes or something. So it was important to have this kind of changes in town.
A question to all three of you: what kind of mood or memories do these places spark in you personally? Do you have any memories of, let's say, childhood memories of spending holidays at these resorts? And do they bring about, I don't know, a feeling of nostalgia or?
I will think.
Yeah, so I was actually in that town where we shot. I had one summer as a child, and it's just like I don't know, hard to say. It's a nostalgic, kind of like a bit trashy holiday with like all this pop music, karaoke going all night. As a kid, I guess I loved it because there was attractions and all that stuff, but I mean, now when I went, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe that this was like the top top destination before. But, you know, it's interesting.
So yeah, for me, it brings a lot of nostalgia because I was with my child, with 2 years old boy, so it just brings me everything what he sees, I experience again, you know. All the toys, all the shining things, music, and every night after the shooting, I went with my toddler Nicholas to little car where he's like, you put the coins and you can drive. But I didn't put any coins. He just holding the wheel, and driving. This car, and the music is just pops. I thought, oh my God, he's gonna go crazy because of this music. It's just so loud, and he's driving. No, and yeah, I don't know. That's it. But it was nice. We have some routine during the shooting, so it was really, really nice to shoot there.
Your memories of these places and what moods they bring about in you personally?
What moods from shooting, or?
No, these old camps that apparently still look the same as they did 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like more or less every year. Yeah, every summer when I was a kid, I used to go with my parents to these places. Not particular this one, to another city, another town which is very close by. And yeah, when I was a teenager, or I don't know, in beginning of academy or something like beginning of 20s, I used to go with friends to these places. So it's kind of you can feel this kind of, I don't know, coming of age thing during staying in these kind of holiday resort towns, like coming of age holidays.
When I was rewatching Cherries, one of your successful short films, I realized that the character was wearing a divine T-shirt in the film, and it made me wonder which films or filmmakers actually made you decide to go and study film.
Okay, it's very, very good question, because I went to study film because of not like because of not movies, but because of, I don't know, oh, it's camera, oh, it's technology, oh, it's, I don't know, very interesting. It's not, for me, it wasn't like artistic or creative. It was more, I don't know, technical or something, and I really want to experience it. But so I knew some directors, and I don't know, like, I like, and I still like Martin Scorsese, Paul Thomas Anderson, and blah, blah, blah. But during academy years, or even a bit before academy, I really tried to find, or not try to, I somehow found new cinema, like for me, new cinema, like the movies which I didn't, I don't know, watch before or something. So yeah, so it was John Waters for sure, like Harmony Korine, and I don't know, Simon Lang, like a lot of filmmakers who are doing something not like academic, not academic cinema in a way. And I thought, wow, it's very nice. Like it could be like movies could be like that. You don't need to have, I don't know, narratives sometimes. You don't need to have, I don't know, a lot of equipment to film it. And yeah, and sometimes it's good not to have it. And yeah, and so I would say that if I have to choose like one or two directors who made, I don't know, like switch for me what cinema is, so it's like Simon Lang and Harmony Korine, but there are like many more as well. So yeah,
there's a nice combination of these two. Having mentioned cherries, then Community Gardens and Places are the other two short films that you made, and one of the recurring motives of several of your films is characters traveling in between places, changing homes. What fascinates you about this, these moving people and things that it brings about?
I don't know, I'm just curious because I live in Vilnius. I was born and raised in Vilnius, but now I live in a different place. And for me, like going back to a place where my parents lives, it's not the same, but it's still a feeling that I'm coming from, I don't know, another country or something. It's like different place. It's like, I don't know, 5 or 7 kilometers from the place where I live, but somehow for me, I coming back, I don't know. It's not about distance, but maybe it's about memory distance in a way. So yeah, so I'm very curious about this kind of memory distance, and yeah, and this kind of immigration thing also for me like very fascinates because yeah, I have a lot of friends and we are talking about it and blah blah and how it changes, and yeah, so this is.
I think that also can't be omitted is the fact that you shoot the films yourself on a 16mm film. And I guess the obvious question is, what is your motivation to do this? What are the benefits for you from shooting on 16mm, and also maybe the limitations?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, like sometimes, like every time it's good not to have something. So shooting the film, like, you are very limited. Like you don't have a lot of takes, you don't have a lot of equipment in a way, because like shooting on film costs a bit more than working on digital. So you are investing in analog, and you have to, I don't know, cut something down. So this fascinates me a lot. Also, it's very like, yeah, you really have to be prepared, or you really have to know if you want to, I don't know, film it very documentary or something. You really have to be responsible for your, as cinematographer, as director, for your choice. I don't want to say that you have to be prepared, you have to rehearse before or something, but you really have to be responsible for not rehearsing in a way, if you don't want to, because you are like limited. And this kind of limitations really somehow moves me forward, and yeah, and of course, Super 16 in a way, like for me, it's very timeless media. It's a bit trashy, but a bit like professional, like grainy, but like but film, a lot of colors, and it gives something, you know. not nostalgia, but some memories in a way. So yeah, and it's not. I think working with digital is a completely different thing because working on digital, you can make a lot of things in post-production. In a way that you can make a lot of things in post-production working on analog as well, but on digital you are working, you're having like I don't know, flat image in a way, and in a post-production you are, do what you want. But I really want to have as less as possible touches in post-production, and I really want to have as much as possible things happening on set.
How did you shoot the floating scene in Cherries then?
We used the crane cables and we deleted the cables in the vent. Yeah, but it was shot on film.
How stressful it is for the actors to know that you can't reshoot the scene 27 times if things go wrong?
Super stressful, especially when you're not an actor. I remember we shot a test scene even like a year before this shoot, and when the camera started rolling, I started hearing it, because with digital you don't really hear it, but this one you can hear, and I just hear the euros just flying away, and I'm I should act faster, so that it wouldn't take so much. But then I just switch it. He put the camera further away so I wouldn't hear it.
For me, it was different. For me, it wasn't stress. For me, it was the relief that we need to do a lot of times. I thought, oh my God, okay, it's the last time, second time. So for me, it was not like stress. It will be with digital. You need to repeat and repeat.
Yeah, it was. There was a limit that okay.
Limited, so it makes you like, okay, it's gonna be done. So.
I would always ask for a rehearsal, but he would say, let's shoot it, and then we'll rehearse. And after this pre-rehearsing shooting, he said, okay, this is good.
But it's very important to mention it that we are not limited in takes. If we need, we will do it like 20, like 100 takes. But it's more about, if I know that the scene is gonna be hard, and if I know that the scene will require takes, so I'm just asking to rehearse it. Rehearse, improvise, blah, 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 blah. And then when we are more or less ready, we are going to film it. And it's I think, working, as you mentioned, it gives a lot of restrictions, but like good ones, and you prepare a lot.
Yeah, I think everyone's actually also more focused on the set, not slacking around, and really everyone knows what they're doing, so I think that's a big plus.
I would like to go back to the locations one more time. I remember when I was watching the film, the flat and the surrounding places gave me personally quite a comforting vibe. Of the places, and I was wondering whether you yourselves would like to inhabit such a place, or what emotions did they bring around in you?
For me, it was important to show that this place is as realistic as possible. I didn't want to show somehow, beautiness, look how beauty apartment is. No, like the apartment is like how the apartment could look like in real life. And I used to live in this kind of style apartment when I was a kid and something. And it should be, I don't know. And now a lot of people like our age moves to these kind of apartments. We like change everything, demolish the walls and blah blah blah. So, make a studio, white walls, so. It's it's like you are changing by time by yourself, but
Would the two of you like to live in such an apartment, rather than the super polished white sterile place?
Where should I? Happiness depends on where what apartment you live in, because for me, even when I live in a nice apartment right now, maybe I were much more happier when I was a child living in this such apartment, because I don't know, maybe there was more stuff look at. Now it's more clean, everything. And in those kind of apartments, there's such a little things, I don't know.
There's more poetic qualities to shabbiness rather than like things being super polished, right? Okay. One last question regarding the current Lithuanian films that are being recognized over the world more and more. I'm curious to know if, in your eyes, you think there is something special happening in Lithuanian cinema these days?
I don't know. When you see a list of festivals where Lithuanian movies are going, it can look like, oh, it's a special thing and blah, blah. We are very happy about it, but I think it's not a... For me, it's not a special thing, but it's like a thing of, I don't know, of community, because somehow we more or less, all of us studied like the same years, like year before, year after, but like all of us met in academy during studies. And I think, I don't know how was it before, but I know that when we started to study, like we started to make this kind of community. We started from very beginning, we started to work with each other, help for each other. Like Darius, like this is his first role in a movie, but before in academy, he used to act in his course mates' work, and it wasn't like something special. Like it was like, okay, like you need, I don't, like it was about helping each other and about trying to make something together and trying to make possible, because yeah, for one person it's kind of hard, like you really have to be something, I don't know, something special to, but yeah, but if with a lot of people, yeah, it helps. And so I think the Lithuanian cinema is very community based cinema, and
yeah, it's like a tight community, I would say. There's not that many competition, maybe there is, but it seems that no one is jealous of anyone else's work, and they're glad to help. You know, you can we change roles. Now you're an editor. Now you're an actor. Now you're a director. Now you're gonna be the editor. You know, so this is I don't know. It's like this very nice generation. Like we just like to make films, no matter what you do. You know, I could be a driver also, if anyone's interested.
I don't think we could have ended on a more cheerful note. So thank you so much for being here, Vismantė, Darius, and Vytautas, filmmakers behind The Visitor. Thank you.
Thank you.